That's new. And welcome to the HollyHood Zoomcast, episode number 9. I am Ajimanj Asante Goodman.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm good.
DJ Goodman here.
Probably Bell Boy.
Hey, and welcome to the HollyHood Zoomcast. Never mind. So for this episode, we're doing top 5 sports movies. And a lot of people had questions. They were like, yo, sports movies. What defines a sports movie? What did you consider a sports movie? Now, for me personally, I didn't do documentaries such as Hoop Dreams, which is arguably the greatest documentary of all time. Don't fight me on that. Anyway, so I didn't do documentaries. I didn't do a couple other things. Had some controversial picks, I think, but I think this went pretty well. Got a huge response from Facebook. A lot of movies going to be mentioned. If yours is on the list from here, just act like you didn't hear it. I got everything from Hoosiers, Victory, Talladega Nights, Blades of Glory, Major League. That was a good pick. Sunset Park. That was another good pick. Bad News Bears, Coach Carter, Rebound. That was a sleeper. Blue Chips, Jerry Maguire.
Ugh.
Wow.
Ugh. Yuck. Go ahead. I'm
going to continue on. I'm not going to let you derail it. Okay, White Men Can't Jump. Mentioned several times. I had to break it up. That's how many people responded. Remember the Titans was mentioned 4 times. The Program was mentioned 3 times. Shout out. Varsity Blues was mentioned twice. The Sandlot was mentioned 3 times. Friday Night Lights was mentioned 2 times. 42 was mentioned twice. Hoop Dreams was mentioned by these people as well twice. Any Given Sunday twice, and Above the Rim twice. So that was from the community out here watching, all the jerks watching and stuff. That was all the stuff they came out with. So with all that being said, who wants to go first with these honorable? Oh, before I go into honorable mentions, let me say we're down to 2 people. We're down Jason Ryan, the Odd Ninja. He's out there being awesome. Comic-Con, if you're around the area, stop by. Buy Jericho Cutter. Shut your mouth. And also, shout out to Antoine Smallwood. Shout out, dog. So we're gonna be reading them. They had the forethought of mine to sit in their list. So I'm gonna read Jason's first, as far as his honorable mentions, and then we'll go into one of these jerks. All right, Waterboy. He's not here to defend himself. Sunset Park, Kingpin, Dodgeball, Happy Gilmore, and Great White Hype. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about how he broke his own rule, but whatever. Who wants to go next?
I'll list mine, man. So I got about 5. He's got a couple of mine on his list. So honorable mentions, I had White Men Can't Jump. I had Dodgeball as well. I got Creed, had Major League. And then the last one, I don't even know if you guys have seen it, Prefontaine. Seen that one?
Yeah, I seen that.
Runner.
Yeah, The Runner. Yeah, I like that movie. It's pretty cool. So but it wasn't quite enough to get him a top 5.
Indeed. Greg, you want to go next?
Oh, yeah, man. I'll break it down. All right, my top 5, not top 5, Jesus. My honorable mentions. Kingpin was on there just basically because of Bill Murray's character. That dude is hilarious. Big Earn on Kingpin. If nobody's ever seen Kingpin, you need to watch that just to see Bill Murray. He is hilarious in that joint. White Man Can't Jump. You know, that actually, in my younger years, I based my whole life, me and this white dude named Joe Williams, based our whole life around that movie. And when I lived in Germany, we was out there hustling people at the park. Friday Night Lights. Yeah, that's just a solid movie altogether. You know what I mean? It was I don't know how true that story was or anything, but either way, great. It was a great movie. I enjoyed it.
Let me spin, coach.
Yeah, Booby Miles, my man's. The last one, The Program.
Oh.
Yeah, big fan. I was a big fan of The Program. It wasn't my top 5, but just entertainment-wise, I had to replace it with something that was better. That was more entertaining, which I'll explain to you later. But yeah, The Program, great movie. My favorite football movie.
Carvel, you want to go next? I don't think he can hear us.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Here is Rock.
I'll go next. Don't worry about it. I can go next. It ain't no big thing to me, brother. So I did the right thing. I did 4 honorable mentions. So Basketball Diaries.
Good pick.
Very, very. It's a controversial pick because some people don't consider it a sports movie. Great, but it's not there. Huh?
It was not enough basketball in it for me to consider it a sports movie, but it's about a dude that played some sports. So
a dude that played some sports. That's
more or less what it is. You to play basketball, but it ain't really about basketball.
Leo the God. All right. Anyway, so whatever, man.
Great movie.
It's
one of my favorite DiCaprio performances.
Yeah, it's the greatest anti-drug movie I think I've ever seen. So I saw that, I was like, wow, I will never try heroin. Anyway, so
I don't think I needed that movie for that. You know what I mean? I was kind of cool on heroin before I saw the movie.
I don't know. I was almost there. Got invited to a party after the movie, and I was like, you know what, Leo would be ashamed. So I so.
Was literally walking the street to make that decision. There's you walk down looking at the bus stop, like, nope, I don't want that to be my life.
I mean, it was like he was like, you know what? I can't get into that. It's a family show. I'm not gonna get into that. It's a family show. Anyway, so another one of my honorable mention, The Best of Times. Oh, arguably one of the best football movies ever. You're the twig, damn it. I mean, what else can I say? Another honorable mention, Raging Bull. You're welcome, Greg. I know you're gonna be upset with that, but Raging Bull is in my last honorable mention. Feel the Rhythm, Feel the Rhyme. You don't know if it's bobsled time. Cool Runnings, baby. You know what it is. You know what it is. I don't care about what anybody says. Cool Runnings defined my 7th grade year. Everybody from Heidelberg Middle School, we all used to say stuff from that movie. And Who's the Man? With Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. Anyway, so yeah, Cool Runnings, man. I had to shout it out. You brother. Never mind. All right, Carmel, man, go ahead, man.
All right, I got wouldn't be right if I didn't do Rocky. So Rocky 4, you know what I'm saying? Ivan Drago. Gotta do that, man. You know what I'm saying? If he dies, he dies. Asian League, you know what I'm saying? Got Creed, Happy Gilmore, and Kickboxer. Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
I had an unhealthy obsession with Jean-Claude Van Damme when I was younger. So.
Everyone did.
Pardon me if he's on my, you know what I mean? The splits and bad karate and, learning from obscure senseis and shit. It's like, he just obscure. It's like, let's find this man in Thailand, learn some karate, kick ass, and win. That's it.
I'm about to turn that to my Wu-Tang name.
Obscure Sensei.
Obscure Sensei. That's my new Wu name.
New record with featuring Obscure Sensei. That's dope. Okay, let me get to Antoine's. Let me get to his honorable mentions real quick, and then we'll go into our top 5. So his honorable mentions, he had more than normal too. The Fan. I thought that was a really good sleeper pick.
Yeah.
Sandlot. White Men Can't Jump, Blue Chips, Talladega Nights, The Karate Kid, and Great White Hype. So those are pretty solid. I'll give his 5 since I got him on a roll, and then we'll get into ours. His 5 was $1 Million Baby, which I would never co-sign because I don't know what he's good. Anyway, so let's just keep it moving. Who wants to go first with their 5?
Well, $1 Million Baby, like.
He's not here to defend himself. You can't,
you shouldn't be allowed to leave a theater that depressed. Like, it's not, I don't know. That movie was upsetting.
Was sad and was a little sad, man.
That shit was upsetting, yo.
Her family was.
I was thinking to myself, because movies, there's always like a comeback story. I was like, well, how is she going to win with one leg? This is getting. We're in hour 3. What's the comeback? There was no comeback. It was just all heartbreaking.
Coming back from that.
The movie was plenty decent. I don't rock with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll do my 5. So my 5 has been mentioned. I mean, most of this stuff's probably been mentioned by most people. Actually, not all of them. my number 5 is The Program. Halle Berry, the guy who's gonna be me if I ever get a movie made about me. Omar Epps was in it. Let's see. I mean, it had the greatest. It's a family show, so I can't do the whole line. But it had one of the greatest disses of all time. He said, F Autumn and F you. You just mad because you can't take a hit, punk. And then took the Gatorade and threw it in his face. I was like, yo, this is it. I was like, this is it. This is it. They had Mac on there, couldn't read, yo, but he was great at defense. Had Lattimore on there doing Me Too before Me Too was popular. I mean, like, it was wild, man. It was a wild movie. Had Buddy had the backup quarterback smashing the coach's daughter, yo. That is the most absurd thing.
I totally forgot about that.
Yo, it's absurd. It was such a great movie, man. It's such a good movie, especially for the times. It kind of introduces you to the idea of how much of a farce the NCAA is, especially when it comes to these students, which was bore out more in the NIL ruling earlier this week. So I mean, either earlier this week or late last week. So yeah, I mean, The Program, man, that's my number 5.
Anytime somebody can't read, I instantly get sad. Somebody can't read. You can't read.
How do you get through life, yo? How do you get through?
Oh my God. See what this? This says Adidas. It's the NFL contract.
Yo, that movie was wild, man.
Can't read, but he sure as hell can count. I tell you that, because he was about that money. He was trying to get paid.
Man,
I'll do my number 5 if that's okay.
Go with it.
And again, it is another obscure sensei movie. It is Bloodsport.
Oh my God!
This time we had glass fighting, you know what I'm saying? And another big boss with just the ponytail, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of splits, a lot of Van Damme getting drunk and, you know, falling in love with the just random lady and shit. I mean, it's just a Van Damme movie. It's a fun, good time. It's nothing to really, you know.
Van Damme movies have aged incredibly well. I don't know about anyone. They had, look, I watched Time Cop like a couple weeks ago. I was like, my God, this is a good movie. I was like, let's watch this.
Some of these are so trash that they are, it's like they're a bit trash, you know what I'm saying? But you don't have to think too much when you watch them. It's just like, it's fun entertainment.
Yeah.
Carl, he was up there, he's like, splits.
Glass fighting, tournament, sensei. Picking palm trees, you know what I'm saying?
Obscure Sensei, you're number 5.
I chose this one because it has what may be the greatest antagonist in any movie ever, and that is Rocky 3.
Oh my God.
Mr. T did his thing in that movie. I realized this is the beginning of Rocky, the Rocky movies. Like, this is the beginning of ridiculousness. This is where they start. This is where they start going wild and just start making up craziness for storylines. But I'm telling you right now, Clubber Lang might be the coldest antagonist in movie history. Him and Sho'nuff are my 2 favorite bad guys that do anything. But yeah, it's just a great overall movie. The beginning where Paulie's all mad and he's a bum and he tries to fight Rocky, and there's all the stuff in there. Mick dying. All of a sudden, they decide to give Adrian a personality. Like, it was just a whole lot of stuff going on. It was a poor movie. Just like, I mean, all of a sudden him and Apollo Creed wants to train him instead of going to beat Clubber Lang's ass because he's definitely got the style to do it. It's just a whole lot of recklessness. But the whole thing is, like, if you wanted to make Muhammad Ali an evil dude, then he's Clubber Lang. Clubber Lang was the best shit talking, hard workingest, hard hittingest nigga I've ever seen in my life. It was a great movie, man. And it's all because of Clubber Lang that I'll put this movie in.
Get your hand out of my face. I don't even know has been messing up my Kona.
I don't know how Mr. T got away with just being Mr. T for a whole season of everything and movies and just making money being Mr. T, yo.
I heard in real life that he didn't even have a script. He didn't know the camera was on. he was just talking shit to Sylvester Stallone. Hey woman, hey woman.
That joint. Hey woman. Hey woman.
Like the only thing that was unrealistic about it is when Mr. T hollered at Adrian, then Rocky didn't call him a nigga. Like that's the only.
Oh man.
You do whatever my wife, you monkey.
No, whoa, it's a family show. Hey, TJ, family show. Hey, TJ, this is your go. It's your go. Number 5. Yeah.
Yo, man, me and Greg are on the same page here. I got Rocky 3 as well. I don't know what else to say about the. I guess there's a couple more things I can say about the movie. Number one of the greatest insults ever by Clubber Lang or anybody else. He called him a paper champion.
Yeah.
And that's cold-blooded. You ain't nothing, man.
Only sucking MC is worse.
Yeah.
Only sucking
Suck MC, you sad face clown.
You a sucker MC. That's just cold, man. I'm sorry. T, go.
Man, hurt. No, man. I appreciate the insult. But the other thing about the movie that I guess I liked. Number one, Apollo Creed's in it. You know, Carl Weathers, can't go wrong with that.
No slack.
Harry Happy Gilmore on somebody's list. That's another Carl Weathers. Shout out to him.
No
But the one thing I will say about the movie that I really liked, that was kind of authentic. You know, Rocky was the champ. He was on top of the world, right? He's beating people. He's knocking people out. Everybody loves him. He's, you know, ranked number 1 pound for pound and whatever else. And he got complacent. You know, he got lazy. He got satisfied. He lost his hunger. And somebody that was hungry, that was strong, that was a killer that was coming after him, came up and took it from him. And that forced him, excuse me, that forced him to go back and try to, you know, recapture what it is that made him a champion in the first place. So that part of the movie I really enjoyed. And that's the reason why I made him my number 5.
That's solid.
Clubber beat that ass so bad he made him go back to Compton and train.
Sure. Get out of his comfort zone.
So I'm gonna give Jason's number 5, and his number 5 was Blue Chips. So Blue Chips.
Yeah.
Now on the
That's
number
Shaq
4,
and Penny, right?
huh?
Shaq
Yeah.
and Penny?
Yeah, that's the one with Shaq and Penny. That was a good
And
movie.
that-
Like it didn't make my list. Spoiler alert, but that was a good movie. That was a solid. I'll give his 4 next. So back to Jason for his 4. Another good movie. I think it's a good movie. Any Given Sunday. With that said, who wants to go next for their 4?
Should I?
It's mine. Oh, go ahead, man.
All right. I actually did. I've heard it being thrown around a couple times. You know, nobody put it in the actual list so far. But I had Talladega Nights because normally I would not watch anything involving NASCAR or anything like that. But this drew me to the road, and there's so many damn sayings in this movie. You got him getting stabbed in the leg with a fucking, you know what I mean? Like it's just so much, you know, so much richness. And Will Ferrell, I'm a big fan of Will Ferrell, man. So, you know, gotta go there. But it did draw me to probably watching NASCAR, and something I would never watch in my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go next. So my number 4 is a movie that no one has mentioned at all. And it is a movie that if you have never seen it, you need to run and find it if you haven't seen it. And that, my friends, is Goon. It's a hockey movie.
Oh, Goon was.
Stifler. I forgot his real name.
Yeah.
It's semi based on a true story. It's based on a true person, but not necessarily true events. But that movie Goon, oh my God, it's so funny. There's a scene in there that I'm going to say right now as much as I can. You know, it's a family show. But so the dude was like, the goalie was there, and he has his mother on his face mask on his helmet, and his Russian teammates take the helmet and they're acting like they're doing the helmet with his mom's face on there.
Getting filleted.
Yeah, yes. And they look at him, they say, oh, she's so tight. No way, baby came out of her. No way. You adopted. He was like, I'm not adopted. I'm on your team. I'm on your team. Like that's the whole movie is like that. If you have not seen Goon, you need to go and watch it. There is a scene on there where this teenager tries to sing the Canadian national anthem. And after she's done, the announcer goes, that was damn near blasphemous. Let's go on. I mean, the whole movie's like that. It's a fantastic one. It was a find for me. I think it was one of those random ones where I came across it by accident and it ended up being something I watched. And I continue to watch it every time I got a chance to. So Goon is my number 4.
That's a great pick. Goon was dope. Goon was super dope.
Greg, go ahead and give your number
Oh,
4.
but man, y'all about to be upset with me. It's basically you'll understand the theme. My number 4 movie is Creed, the first one, the original Creed movie. Yeah, I like the way that they tied it all the way in, and tried to shame Creed and his bastard son, and put him out there. But the joint shows that it's just a kid that showed a whole lot of heart in there, man. That, basically came from nothing. Felicia Rashad came and saved him, but he still felt like he had something to prove. You know what I'm saying?
You called her Felicia Rashad? That ain't her name.
No, I'm not calling her Miss. That is always Felicia. Don't disrespect the Queen Felicia.
Yo, my bad, yo. Hey, you know what? I'll fall back on that.
Yeah, and it was like really the first time that everybody really got on the Michael B. Jordan, and it's the beginning of Michael B. Jordan's like real career. So everybody else remembers him from The Wire and a horrible Fantastic Four movie, but this is where Michael B. Jordan became Michael B. Jordan. Plus, it's just a great movie. It's kind of an inverse flip of the original Rocky movie, and it just it just shows the struggle and how messed up he was by being abandoned and all the anger and stuff. So he wanted to be something, and he went out there, tried his best, and became at least a competitor in boxing. I just enjoyed the movie a lot.
Negro Rocky. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to call it. Negro Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chocolate Rock.
Chocolate Rock. Chocolate Rock.
Ever since saying Chocolate Rock. I like that.
Chocolate Rock, obscure sensei. Can't keep your brother down. Beat that murder rap. You know what I'm saying? Never mind. TJ, you're number 4.
Yeah, I actually have Blue Chips as my number 4.
Oh.
Anybody that knows me knows I don't really watch college basketball like that. Part of the reasons for that are what this movie is all about, right? You had a coach that had a group of kids. They would hustle and they would play as hard as they could, but ain't nothing they can do with a team that's completely stacked with talent. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, right? And Nick Nolte, I don't know, his brand of acting entertains me in just about everything I've seen him in. The way he just, he amps it up, he's yelling at people, he's cussing, he's kicking basketballs out of the stadium. I mean, the guy was out the chain, he couldn't take it no more. So, I'm getting Shaq, I'm getting Penny, I'm getting, Indiana Bird Jr., whatever that guy's name was. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna put a championship team on the floor. But I guess the redeeming part is when it was all said and done, he kind of looked at himself in the mirror and was like, I can't believe what I've become. I've become what I despise. I can't do this no more. And he walked away, which is exactly what I did with college basketball. I'm done.
So Antoine's number 4 was 42, Jackie Robinson, which I think is actually a decent pick. It wasn't nowhere near my top 5. I felt like it was kind of Disney-fied, but so it's not a terrible pick though. I can understand 42. Plus my boss's brother was in the movie, which is outstanding. So anyway, so we'll go to Antoine's number 3, The Program. And for number 3, we'll go, I'll start this one off. I'll go with number 3. And my number 3 is a movie that holds a lot of different memories to my heart. It was when we were in college. Shout out to Hampton University. I know what it is. me and a few of my friends who will remain anonymous on here used to sneak into a bunch of movies. Like if we got into one, we got into all of them. I mean, it was pretty absurd how many movies we got a chance to see. One of those movies was this movie right here, Finding Forrester. And Finding Forrester was really, really good. It's basically, it's more than a basketball movie. It could be seen the same way that you see Basketball Diaries in terms of it's bigger than like just a basketball movie. Busta Rhymes was in it as the older brother to Jamal Brown, who was I think he was just there for the casting call. He ended up being the actual lead character in the movie, and he played the opposite of Sean Connery, who was just this recluse author who I guess I forgot exactly what happened to him now. It's been a second since I've seen the movie, but he had basically become a recluse and he just kind of stayed in his apartment. And this kid was not only like a genius basketball player, typical brand basketball player from New York, he also was a fantastic student. He was a great writer, right? He used to write all the time because I think his dad died. I don't remember if he left or if he died, but he used to just, read these books or whatever. He went into these books and he would do this stuff, and he got not kicked out, but he tested out of his regular school, and they put him in his private school, and he was really good at basketball. So they were like, yeah, you can just, go here and we want you to play basketball anyway, and you test it out because you're, this genius level. Long story short, I don't want to give away the entire movie, but the movie is just really spectacular if you get a chance to see it. It's got a dirt bag. He's got one of the people who was an honorable mention for my dirt bags, and this professor that he had to go to, who tried to get him kicked out of the school because he just didn't like him. Honestly, he didn't like anybody, but he especially didn't like him because he felt like he was there for one reason as opposed to there for being smart. When the truth is, he was like one of the smartest people in the school. So it was a very good, very, very good movie. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. So who wants to go next for their number 3?
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Number 3 is Raging Bull. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you put De Niro and Pesci together, you're going to have something like a classic. It's going to be something like a classic. Real quick. But yeah, it's just I didn't know that much about LaMotta. So, watching the movie, I learned a lot about him and how he became a great champ and all that other stuff. But I also learned about his downfalls and everything else. And that's something that always interests me, how someone could be on top of the world and seem like such a great athlete. And you think they have it all and have their shit together, but obviously there's a whole lot of demons and everything, but it really focused more so on his demons outside of the ring that kind of drove him in the ring. It was a really well-written story. One of the greatest black and white movies ever, in my opinion. And, like I said, just a huge fan of De Niro and Pesci. So I had to put that there.
You're such a Pesci stan. I don't get it.
Look, man, anytime a midget can get ahead in this world.
God, you can't, what?
I love it, sir.
You can't. You
Me
can't.
and Joe, I'm like an inch taller than this dude. And anyone who can make it 5'0" is a beast to me. Shout out to Dan DeVito too.
Yo, that's enough. That's enough. You're derailing this stuff. All right, TJ, go ahead, man. You're number 3.
Got some boxing going on too for number 3. I got Hurricane. For some of the same reasons that Greg detailed for Raging Bull about Jake LaMotta. Just speaking on Raging Bull just for a quick second. I mean, the fact that he signed off on this, it just shows what kind of guts he's got. It was a pretty raw movie. Hurricane, same kind of thing. For Reuben Carter to, allow us a peek at all of the, I'll say, psychological battles that he had to have while he was in prison, being, as an innocent man, and he continuing to fight a legal battle. After showing his bravery and his dominance within the ring, is the reason why the movie captured me so much. He had that scumbag cop who was on my dirtbag list. He did make my top 5.
Yeah.
Who was after him from the time that he was a kid, younger than my son. He was like maybe 11 years old or something when this cop was all over him. And the guy finally got him, put him away for something that he didn't do. And he fought for about 3 decades or something for his freedom. So it was started off a boxing movie. I know it turned more into like a psychological and legal battle kind of thing. But sports was at the heart of it, right? So I chose that as my number 3.
Good choice. Carvel.
Hey, I got a movie with a very great actor and an actual athlete. He got game, you know what I'm saying? And Denzel is so good in this movie that he makes up for Jesus Shuttleworth's lukewarm performance, you know what I'm saying?
Look, there's gonna be no Jesus slander on this.
I'm just saying, I mean, like Ray Allen is not like a top basketball actor, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but in this movie you got Denzel coming out of jail trying to make a bond with his son while also having an ulterior motive, you know what I'm saying? But he also has to get in good graces with his son, who is gradually becoming one of the best basketball players in the country, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting, you know what I'm saying? Like, as you're gonna see, the rest of my list is all basketball, you know what I'm saying? Like, basketball and Van Damme. That's it, you know what I'm saying? That's my childhood, you feel me? So these movies captured me at a time where I was really into basketball and karate. So
bro, that sounds like a mixtape. Basketball and Van Damme.
That's it, man.
That's ill.
That was life. But yeah, I think Denzel did a great job. This is one of the overlooked movies. I ain't gonna say overlooked, but you know what I'm saying? Normally when you think about Denzel, you think about other movies besides this one. But anytime you got Denzel and Spike, I think you get magic, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I can definitely agree with, like, not only from Denzel's standpoint, but definitely from Spike Lee's standpoint, it's a very overlooked movie. And that movie was, quite honestly, that was like my number 12 or 13. If we didn't institute that honorable mention rule, that would have came out of my mouth as well. Speaking of that movie, also Jason's number 3. He got game.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Now, before we get to number 2, y'all know what we do in this position. Shout out to Soul Glow for sponsoring this Oh So Silky Smooth. Thank you. We take this opportunity to shout out all of the Black-owned businesses that we know or around or anything like that. Just to take a moment to do that. Shout out to Black Advancement Incorporated for letting us do this. So my sponsor that I'm going to be shouting out today is actually somebody who we don't have under the recommended website list yet, but it should be. And that's Golden Rose Cakes. Like this, she makes like these no sugar birthday cakes. She makes regular sugar birthday cake. I mean, like she's a magician she's a magician with the spoon. You know what I mean? So you get a chance to Golden Rose. I think it's Golden Rose Bakery. I might have said it wrong the first time, but she's on Facebook. She's in the Maryland area. She's specifically in Frederick. She's in Ballinger Creek. You get a chance to, man. You got a party coming up. Your kids got a party coming up. You drop the order, man. Get the non-sugar cakes. That sound a little more. I digress. Yeah, this is a family show. That sound worse than shit. TJ, who you got for sponsorship?
No, this time I'm shouting out Odd Ninja. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I got a chance to go check out the website, some of the Jericho Cutter. Mm-hmm. Really, really good stuff, man. Very impressed. I guess I'm not really the easy person to impress. They impressed me pretty good, man. So shout out to Jason, who's not here, and to Odd Ninja Media. Really good, man. Really great stuff.
Yeah, and I'm gonna double back on what Jason's doing again right now in Austin as usual. So Carvel, man, who you got for your shout out?
Shout out my homeboy, M&E Remy. I think it's M&E Fit Camp. That stands for Make No Excuses. He is a trainer, very damn good one. And you can go. He does virtual sessions. He does sessions mainly in the Alexandria area. If you're trying to get like an in-person session or whatever. But other than that, he's got pull-up programs. He's got all types of stuff going on. Let me find his actual name. This is being trash right now. But MNE _ Remy, REMI.
I like that.
Yeah, he's an amazing trainer, So check him out and make no excuses.
I'll see what I can do.
It's already starting off bad.
Like, you know what? Maybe. Maybe. No, I was just playing. No, that sounds dope. I actually might check that one out. I definitely might check that one out. Greg, who are you sponsoring today?
Oh man, I'm just gonna give a quick shout out to my man Eric Marshall. Now this is the dude we went to school with in Germany. You might not remember him as Eric Marshall. You may remember him as Scoop.
Oh.
So it's blowing up as a chef. He's been killing it. He's been on TV a couple times. He's cooked for some major people. He's up in the DC area sometimes. Well, he's mainly out of the DC area, but now he's traveling around. I think last time he did something was in Raleigh, North Carolina. But he's just come out with his own line of steak knives and everything like that. So it's EC Chef, the EM Chef steak knives or whatever. You know what? I'll give you all the other information another time. I'm ill prepared for this. But the point is, get yourself some of these Eric Marshall knives. Dude, he's a good dude, man. Funny dude, and I'm just, glad to see him blow up, man. We used to give him a hard time back in the day, messing with him, but he's a beast now, man. So shout out to Eric, man.
Shout out to Steve. Hey yo. Had to get my Razor Ramon in real quick. So shout out to Antoine. He's not here. I'm sure that we actually are off schedule. We did this for y'all, for the people, okay, for the people. But speaking of us doing this off schedule, so some of us couldn't make it, but Jason couldn't make it because he is actually doing his Odd Ninja joint out at Comic-Con. I don't know where exactly it is, but he's doing it out there. So that's a big deal for him. So shout out again to the Odd Ninja for doing that. Shout out to Antoine. And now a shout out to the number 2 picks on these streets, sucker. So for Jason, his number 2 was White Men Can't Jump. I cannot be mad at that. Carvel, give your number 2.
My number 2 is Above the Rim.
Oh.
So this is a hood classic. You feel me? We got young Marlon Wayans. Dwayne can actually play basketball. Sometimes you do things in movies and it looks a little flaky. He can actually play basketball. He putting up numbers. He dunking on people and all types of stuff, man. Who else is in this movie? Oh, Tupac. Oh, Bernie Mac is in this movie. Oh, what do you know? So this is a really good hood basketball. You get a whole bunch of everything, and the soundtrack is amazing. So you might watch that. Amazing. That's all I have.
When you talk about now from a movie, the soundtrack to me just outpaced the movie. I mean,
amazing soundtrack.
That soundtrack is that. I was listening to Blown Away yesterday. Let me take you never mind. Anyway, so I'll go next. My number 2.
Wait a minute. We forgot to give a crucial shout out from that movie, which is Leon.
Oh, damn it.
How you gonna forget Leon playing ball against Nutso by himself?
Oh, Tom Shepard, man.
Tom Shepard,
man. Corduroys. I mean, he, you know what I'm saying, hit fadeaways off the roof with the corduroys on, you know what I'm saying?
There will be no Leon slander allowed on the Zoomcast, corduroys or not.
In a thermo fade, he was killing it.
No.
Hey, he was true to his word. Nobody came to see you, Otis. Anyway. Anyway, my number 2 is Rocky. It's the original Rocky. God, I don't even know where to start. A lot of people I think omitted Rocky because of just, it's almost like one of those things where people just automatically assume that Rocky's like the best sports movie ever made, but it still doesn't mean it shouldn't get its flowers. I mean, Rocky is just an incredible movie. The story was really cool. This was back when Sly was still making quality stuff. Before the roids, you know what I mean? Before when he had the crooked lip, he's doing that. So before his mom got on TV talking about tarot cards, all that. This was base Sly. You know what I mean? Base Sly. This movie was so dope. They made a statue of Rocky in Philadelphia, a real statue, which is
I
crazy.
saw that last night, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts because they got Joe Frazier. Anyway, so I don't know. Racism? Maybe. I don't know. You know what? Maybe. So yeah. I'll just leave it at that. Rocky's my number 2 though. It's a fantastic movie.
Is that the only movie to have a statue? Like,
Yo, that's a good question.
Making a statue off of a fictional character?
No. I believe Tremors got a
Oh my Lord. Oh.
It's like Miami having a Freddy Krueger statue or something. It's Freddy Krueger. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's gotta be like in a Sleep Numbers place or something to have Freddy Krueger statue. It's gotta be relatable somehow. The statue outside of the Sleep Numbers store. Outside of a mattress discounter or some shit. It's gotta be something ridiculous like that.
That's awesome.
Oh
man.
Gosh. Oh, actually, let me derail real quick. If you could make a statue out of any character in any location, who would it be? Like that's a crazy question. That's interesting.
What, any character or any sports character?
Any sports character. We'll go with sports characters.
Come on, man.
What you mean? Come on, man. What did you come on, man?
It's Big Earn for him.
Earn.
It's a Big Earn statue, man. It's a Big Earn statue of him holding the ball with the rose in it. Either that, no, there's like 2 or 3. I don't know if you can consider Show Nuff an athlete, but there needs to be a Show.
Just because he had on shoulder pads doesn't make him an athlete.
Show Nuff, he's like he's like Busta Rhymes, Andre 3000, and Mr. T had a baby. That's what Show Nuff.
That's just bullets
of everybody.
Oh, please.
Big bro, please.
He had one of the illest nicknames, Shogun, the Shogun of Harlem. I don't know how you get that nickname.
He needs to have a statue of Harlem of Shogun. They need to remake that. They need to do a movie, The Rise of Shogun.
That'd be pretty good.
The Rise of Shogun.
I think the obvious one would be like Ricky Bobby, right outside of the stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like, shake and bake, baby. Him and shake and bake, man.
Him, shake and bake, and Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Don't you call me Ricky.
Don't you put this on me, Ricky.
Yo, I'm gonna go nutso outside of Rucker Park.
Nutso outside of Rucker.
Outside of Rucker.
That would be cool.
You should have him touching the backboard.
Yeah. Nutso.
or flip, give him some boots.
Nutso outside of the Rucker might be the one. That might be the one.
Wow, man. Dang, that was a wild. Okay, I'm sorry, TJ. You're number 2.
I thought you was asking me about statues. I was gonna I might go Brock and be like Chong Li when he was smashing that dude's head.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that's dope.
Yeah. My number 2 movie though is The Karate Kid. Speaking of martial arts, it's my number 2, man. You guys know how great it is. You even see that it's still going on. Great, Cobra Kai. Who doesn't love it, right? I mean, seriously. But I mean, so we moved around a lot growing up, and I guess the basis of the Karate Kid was the fact that he was in a whole new environment. They moved from New Jersey all the way out to California, and not understanding the rules at a new place and trying to fit in, and he just happened to be at the wrong party, mixed it up with a guy who just all he does is kick people's butt for a living, man, Johnny. So the Daniel, he has so much heart. I mean, that's part of the reason why I love his character so much. He couldn't fight a lick at first, but he was taking on like a whole gang of karate guys. He didn't back down at all.
He never backed down, yo. You know what? I'm gonna rule. No Daniel LaRusso slander on the. You know what?
Let's put him on the list.
I can't do it.
Pencil him in.
Hold on.
I can't do it. The Cobra Kai joint on me.
LaRusso slander. I'm about to give you all of it. Daniel LaRusso is a goddamn troublemaker. Okay.
What?
He deserved. Okay.
Don't do
He tried
this.
to muscle in on Johnny's girl.
Don't do this.
Got his ass whipped, which was well deserved. He'll muscle in on another man's turf.
What are you talking about? They were broken up.
Not to mention Johnny slammed the radio down, man. He didn't even know who this dude was.
Daniel's a simp, and he should have left out.
What? Hey, you know what?
There's no way.
That's enough.
All right, and then secondly, let's just be honest. Johnny is minding his own business at a school function, rolling a joint, and Daniel LaRusso decides to just go and just start playing practical jokes, putting the hose on the man while he's in the
Hey man, that's payback, man.
So
that was payback.
off a mountain. This is all Daniel's fault. He should have minded his own damn business.
Really? We're gonna ignore him getting jumped. Is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna ignore him getting jumped like every day?
Pushed off that mini cliff when he was riding.
Damn right. He threw that damn Huffy right down the hill. Fuck Daniel LaRusso.
Yo, enough. It's a family show. You can't say that. Yo, hey, enough, man. Enough. All right? Enough.
LaRusso was trying to bully Johnny, and Johnny had to defend himself. The real hero of this movie is Kreef, the guy that gave Johnny and all of Cobra Kai pride. Because without karate, these kids would have been losers.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. What's your number? What is your number 2?
Oh, Ali. I mean, just an amazing. I mean, first, I mean, Ali's the greatest, like period, the greatest ever. And one of the main reasons I like the movie is because they had to wait for someone like. There's no one else that could have actually played Ali other than Will Smith. Like, who you gonna get? Cuba Gooding Jr. That who you gonna get? You got nobody. It had to be Will Smith. It was a great movie. Plus, it showed how dedicated Will Smith was to this role, because he actually had to learn how to box. He put on like 30 pounds of muscle. You know what I'm saying? And Jamie Foxx's role as Bundini, amazing. And plus, it's one of the few boxing movies where the boxing actually looked real. All right, it looked like everything on there looked 100% real. Even if you go back and you look at the actual fight with George Foreman, and then you put that side by side with what Will Smith and that other dude did in the ring, it's spot on. He did an amazing job. Yeah. Like I said, the whole movie was great. It showed, plus it showed a different angle of Ali to me, because usually all we get to see is the very up-tempo rhyming, being funny Ali, and you got to see behind the scenes to see the actual real life torment, because most of the time when he's in front of the camera, he put on his Ali face and put on the show. But it showed the struggles, and it's got one of the coldest pimp lines I've ever heard in any movie from Ali, when his wife rolled up on him and he was like, "I didn't mean for you to see that," when he saw when he was with the other girl. You don't remember that part?
I remember it. It's just
but that is the same thing happened to him in real life with Jada. So
enough. That's it. I'm cutting you off. We'd like to welcome everybody to the HollyHood Zoomcast. No, I will say this, right? Like, I thought Ali was a very good movie, and it could have been mentioned in my honorable mentions, but here's the reason why I didn't put Ali in. And it wasn't because of Will Smith, because he was dynamic in it. It wasn't because of the boxing scenes. It wasn't because of any of that. The reason why I didn't put it in there is because Ali himself, and all the documentaries and all that stuff, he is so dope on his own. Like, the movie couldn't capture Ali. Like, Ali's too big to be redone, to me.
Oh yeah.
Like, you just couldn't capture the essence of what he is.
I said the closest you can come is Will Smith. There's no one else that played that role.
I agree.
Nobody else. Some people are built to play certain parts, and he was built to play that part. No one could have done it.
I don't disagree at all. Antoine's number 2 was Any Given Sunday. Very good. Very good. You got a claw for that inch. Okay, so this is the last one. We're on number 1s here. Y'all know what we do in this position. Everybody just moves out of the way and let people go. But before that, I'll give Antoine's number one. Your hood favorite, my hood favorite, Above the Rim. Now, who would like to try to do their number one?
No, my number one's easy. My number one's Rocky. I mean, and I'm surprised it's not everyone's number one. Rocky, look, man, it's the greatest sports fiction story ever. I mean, he won an Oscar off of this joint. I mean, it just shows, and it also kept it realistic in the point that he knew he had no shot. He knew he wasn't gonna win. All he wanted to do was finish. You know what I'm saying? It just showed the heart of a dude who's a bum that has nothing. And if you give him a shot, you know, he's gonna make the best of it. It's just, like I said, it's a great underdog story. I don't think without Rocky, you don't get to stuff like Karate Kid and everything else. You know what I'm saying? It's the OG of sports films. I can't remember a sports film before it that was worth anything, and after it, everything's basically a remake of what Rocky was, unless it's a documentary based on someone's life. So Rocky is the GOAT.
Wow. I guess I'll give my number one after that because it kind of dovetails off of that. My number one is Creed, aka Chocolate Rocky, Black Rocky. It was dope because it was the reason why Creed to me is better than Rocky is because it took all the elements of Rocky, all the history you had with the Rocky thing, and implanted it in something else and made it modern and had a new character that was more relatable to more people. It had a similar story with Adrian, but the character of Adrian, played by Tessa Thompson, is much more dynamic, I think, in terms of just the way that she operates. The character himself, Adonis, his story is really unique. You know what I mean? He's a bastard child of a great champion. Not only that, but you know, he's felt this. He's smart enough to do other things, but he has the heart of a fighter. And he wanted to be a fighter so much, he left a job that paid him well. He left a house that he didn't have to pay for. He would go sneak down to Mexico during the week and fight these dudes for pesos. That sounds terrible.
That's anyway, a lot of fighting.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. And not only that, but he left California and went to Philadelphia just to train, to be able to try to find out how to fight well. I mean, and he eventually, I mean, if you watch the whole Creed series, of course, he eventually goes on in Creed 2 to, you know, gets the belt and all that stuff. But I mean, like, just the ideas behind it, it is very Rocky-ish in terms of the storyline, but the way that they took that, the elements of his father. And then, like, lastly, not that Michael B. Jordan is the easiest cast in the world, but for Michael B. Jordan to look similar to Carl Weathers, like, the casting of that was just like, it was kismet. I mean, like, it was dope. It was just dope. It was dope the way they did it. So Creed is my number one, aka Chocolate Rocky.
Can't get over that. I'll go, I guess. Sure. My number one is another basketball movie. White Men Can't Jump. Because of what it means to me personally. I know other people may say it's trash or it's just a B-level movie. Love White Men Can't Jump. You got Woody Harrelson, you got my man Wesley Snipes, you know what I'm saying? Super Dark Brother, when, you know, Super Dark Brothers was in, and this black man in the movie was not a trash black man. It was actually the white dude that couldn't get his life together, you know, and he was on the brink of losing his girl and all types of stuff. But all in all, this is a very good basketball movie. There is some good basketball played in this movie as well. This is not one of those movies where, you know, you see somebody from behind and then they turn around and it's a whole nother person. Like, it's like, oh yeah, he's crossing people up. And now, no, these people can actually shoot the ball, running real plays. I don't know if anybody's not seen White Men Can't Jump, because I think you said it was on the list a lot of times. So yeah, I don't think you need a synopsis of White Men Can't Jump, but it did play on the stereotype that white men could not do something back in the day. We've since seen now that white men can jump and they can win dunk contests, and play basketball, Euro stepping, shit like that. Oh yeah, just one. But this was back in the time when people thought white men could not literally dunk and jump and stuff. And
they could rename the movie White Man Can Jump as in.
We also have a.
They just have to change the title to White American Man Can't Jump. They are crackers from Euro, and they're Euro stepping all over the league and killing it.
And you also have a young Rosie Perez.
Yes, Lord.
And yeah, and Jeopardy. It's all types of random stuff in this movie, but it's just a fun, feel-good movie. You know what I'm saying? Go check it out.
Yo, Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez.
Was that peak Rosie? Was that peak?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right around Do the Right Thing and all that stuff. Right around the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's back. She's the original J-Lo. Everybody loved Rosie back in the day.
She did.
Rosie was
now
tough.
She's a little tragic.
Oh. There's no Rosie slander allowed. That's a fine. I'm not gonna sit and accept that. I can't accept that.
I mean, do you like Pineapple Express Rosie? Like you like that Rosie too?
I would see. Look, I could
Tell you right now.
I'm not gonna allow it.
Hold on. Like her as far as what?
I mean, like her looks and stuff like that. Like,
Yo, she never look bad to me, yo. She'll never look bad to me. And not to mention, but her voice is like crazy, and her voice is crazy. So
yeah,
that'll never go.
Gotcha.
She'll always have that fastball. All right, TJ, man, you're number one.
All right, my number one. Going the opposite of Brock here, he's got a kind of a cult classic, you know what I mean? This one's more obscure, but actually it's already been mentioned. So my number one is The Best of Times.
Oh.
Now, I mean, you guys know how much I love this movie, just for the comedy, for the crazy, just the crazy stuff in it. But I'm gonna give you guys a slightly different perspective on it, right? So almost every sports movie deals with the athletes that are involved, either on their way to their peak or their prime, or they're already at their prime, right? Just about every sports movie, because that's the, I guess, part of what makes it compelling, right? Their journey to that place, and them having to dig deep in order to break through and become a champion or whatever else. This movie deals with the backside of that. These guys peaked early, right? Well, one of them, the quarterback peaked early, and it kind of shows what happens after that. So one guy, he completely muffed this catch in a high school football game, and it just it just affected him for the rest of his life. He could never get past it. I mean, he didn't move out of that town. So everybody there looks at him with disdain because, he blew this one chance that they had to beat this big school that they can never beat.
Their rival
school. That's right. We're gonna kill Bakers for you. But the premise of the movie is them going back and replaying this game that they blew like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah.
So just the premise of the movie it's kind of crazy when it comes to sports, right? Like I said, they're past their peak. They're working at garages and the main character, Robin Williams, like he's basically under his wife's father's thumb because he works for him, because I guess he couldn't get any other employment because he just felt like such a loser after blowing that catch.
Yeah.
It's like the autobiography of Al Bundy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Extended play of Al Bundy.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could think of it kind of like that, right? So it is kind of like Married with Children, except Al goes back and plays a big game. And he blew in high school. It's kind of similar to that. So you can see now why I'm so entertained by it. But
You're the twig, damn it. You're the twig. What did Reno say? Reno Hightower was the quarterback. Like, he was like a star quarterback, and he ended up blowing his knee out.
Yeah.
Funny enough, like 10 years later, if the same injury would have happened, he probably would have been at USC. Anyway, so like He ends up blowing his knee out, but he plays in that game when he goes back. And this black dude catches the ball, and he's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do when the ball hits you in the hands. It's like, Jesus, man, what is wrong? Don't talk to him like that. And, you know, that reminds me, there's always 3 things you can take from the HollyHood Zoomcast. Number 1, winning is whack. Winning is, oh man, I messed up the phrase. What is it?
Winning is fat and all that.
There it is. Losing is whack and Bozak. Shout out to Sunset Park Frito Star with the sleeve cut off and the other sleeve full. We all know. The second thing you do, you should always take from the show is you never play basketball on the roof of a building. I think we can all agree on that. Doesn't seem like a hard thing to get around. And third, if you're good enough at your sport, they might make a statue of you, or if you're a good enough character. But if you can't do any of those, remember, there's always work at the post office. All right, jerks. That's HollyHood. Peace.